Hello everyone, Beard Reads Books here. A little while ago, about a couple of months or so ago roughly, I did a book review on The Black Alchemist by Andrew Collins. Now I've just finished reading the follow-up to this book, which is The Second Coming, so I'm going to be doing a book review on this one. So now in this book, there's, like I said, the Black Alchemist and the Black Sorceress of Arundel, who sort of appear quite prominently, like predominantly in the first book. They do appear a bit in this book, but not quite so much. This story is more about Andrew and his group of friends investigating, sort of using psychic questing to investigate various sort of cults, sort of shadowy groups, all of whom are sort of setting about in their own way to try and bring about the birth of an antichrist, try and bring about their version of the apocalypse, sort of trying to work things to their own end and all the rest. And obviously Andrew and his group trying to put a bit of a stop to all of it. So again, like I said, psychic questing does appear quite strongly in this story. So it's the kind of thing, psychic questing, you either believe in it or you don't. And if you don't believe in that kind of stuff, you might sort of think, oh, it sounds a bit like a rubbish book, but I'm not going to be interested in that. But what I would say is this: if you're not a believer in psychic questing and all the rest, and you're looking at this book as like science fiction as opposed to a factual account of what actually happened, can still be an enjoyable book. Even if you're reading it as pure sci-fi, it's still quite an interesting little read. I'd say it's definitely got a quite a strong Scooby-Doo vibe, I would say. The way sort of Andrew and his friends, they psychically pick up on clues, go off somewhere and investigate, and then they're like decamping down the pub for like a drink and sort of mull things over and all the rest, so they're like an adult group of the like Scooby-Doo gang, so yeah. But I mean, and for me personally, the whole Scooby-Doo vibe of the book really made it interesting. For me, that vibe really worked. For some people, that kind of vibe might really put them off the book, but for me, it was a good thing. It really worked. It really pulled me in and kept me hooked, and it was one of the things I really enjoyed about reading this. So, and I mean, another thing that I quite enjoyed was Andrew Collins, the author. Even though he's into the psychic question and all the rest, he's still a rational-minded person. What I mean by that is, the reason I'm saying that is this: towards the end of the book, they're being drawn up towards the Whitby area, because what it is, one of the things these sort of shadowy cults are doing, they're using, now what's the term, psychic thought forms in like different locations, so it's some kind of, I don't fully understand what it is, but it's some kind of an energy that these groups leave at a place, and it psychically produces thought forms. So like when a psychic tunes into the area, this energy, whatever it is, kind of creates picks up on the psychic's thoughts and produces some kind of a form, that this psychic can see, whatever it is. So this psychic thought form up in Whitby, when the psychics sort of psychically tuning into Whitby, this thought form is producing forms of like Dracula, so obviously these, so Whitby, Dracula, and Andrew Collins at one point sort of, he's saying things were starting to feel to him like it was turning into some kind of like a real sort of cheap horror B movie, So it wasn't a case of like him being like, Whitby, we're fighting Dracula. And it's like, it was more a case of him being like, Dracula at Whitby? Really? Come on, is this actually happening? It feels a bit corny, And also there's sort of like other points in the story where things are happening to them, like sort of one of them, a car breaks down, another has his car written off and stuff like that, and Andrew, he sort of, he poses a question: is there something like sinister and underhand and black magic-y going on, or is it purely coincidence that these things are happening, like car crash, car being written off and all the rest of it, so he's not jumping feet first into the brief like, oh no, there's something sinister going on, something underhand, he is sort of thinking, is it that, or is all this pure coincidence, so he's, so I think it comes across quite good for me that he's got that kind of questioning going on, he's not sort of jumping 100% headlong feet first into this whole world, something sinister, black magic and all the rest, and he's not getting totally absorbed in the whole Lord Whitby, Dracula and all the rest, he's still got that sort of rational, scientific, questioning mind to him, for want of a better way of putting all that. So, so I think that kind of stood out as a good point for me when reading this book. Yeah. So I mean, I enjoyed it. It's a good little book. Now, if you've read this book and you enjoyed it, but you haven't read this book yet, I highly recommend getting this book as well. If you enjoyed this one, you definitely enjoy this one. So it's, I definitely recommend having it on your bookshelf. So yes, I personally would give it a big thumbs up. I liked it, and I'll say get your hands on the copy. Definitely go out and get your hands on the copy. Well, anyway, guys, thank you very much for sort of watching. Hope you enjoyed, and if you've read it, The Second Coming, like, drop me a comment, let me know what you thought of it, and yeah, tell me your thoughts. So anyway, guys, yes, I'll bring this little video book review to an end now, and look forward to seeing you in the next video. And in the meantime, guys, stay safe and take care.